Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. 13th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, known as Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. Yoga of distinction between the field and the knower of the field. To understand the title, think of a pot of water and the sun reflecting in it. Every human personality is like a pot of water. Mind is the water in it. And the pot is a product of earth element. That's allegorical. But in every pot, there is a blend of two aspects. One is the reflected sun. Another is your pot and water. Two together become the soul abiding in a limited personality. Pot relates to Prakriti. The reflected sun relates to Purusha, Brahman. Brahman and Prakriti are blended in every personality. But to understand this blend in a profound way, you'll realize that the blend is an appearance. It is not real. Both are completely separate. The reflected sun in no way can blend with the water. And this insight, as you gain, you are developing vivek, discriminative intellect. The whole chapter is devoted to viveka vikas, how to enhance your discriminative understanding. So keeping that in view, thirteenth section, first verse that I'm reciting has been added to it to make this chapter more convenient. Prakritim Arjuna Uvacha Prakritim Purusham Chaiva Kshetra Kshetrajnam Evacha Etad Veditum Ichchami Jnanam Jneyam Cha Keshava. Arjuna said, I wish to learn the distinction between the Prakriti and Purusha. The entire pot, set, and water is Prakriti. Reflected sun is the Purusha. I want to know the distinction. The distinction within your body, mind, intellect, set, and the soul within you. You call the soul Jiva as a result of lack of discrimination. when discriminative vision rises to height, the soul in you, the Atma in you is Paramatma. So Arjuna said, I wish to learn the distinction between the Prakriti and Purusha, Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Kshetra literally means field. It's an allegorical term. Soul, as Jiva, works through the field of Prakriti to discover who am I. The field is as if a farm, and every individual is a farmer. And what you are harvesting? The knowledge of the self. But all the details have to be understood. How much your field extends, what is your capacity, and how do you sow seeds of enlightenment. And also, knowledge and that which is to be known, O Keshava. Knowledge is jnana, and what is to be known, Sanskrit word jnaya. Kshetrajnam chapi chavidhi sarva kshetreshu. Rather, idam shariram kaunteya kshetramitya vidhiyate. Etadyo vetti tampa prahu kshetrajna iti tadvidah. The Blessed Lord said, O Kaunteya, another name for Arjuna, this body is known as the field, Kshetra. And the one who knows the field is the knower of the field. When you see the pot imagery, the role of the reflected sun. Reflected sun shines in the pot, but doesn't know anything, doesn't know much about the pot. But the reality behind the reflected sun is the sun. That's all knower. So you have to discover who is the knower. Thus do the sages affirm, who have delved into the nature of both. Body is the field for soul's purushartha. Soul will not evolve if there is no body, no embodiment. And God is the reality behind body and soul. The difference between soul and God is like a reflected sun and the sun. And that absolute self, Atma, same as Paramatma, is the knower. Who is the knower in you? Who is the hearer? Who is the taster? You can easily raise your hand and say, it's me, it's me. But rather you should say, meow, meow. It is divine will that sustains the body for aiding the evolution of the soul and enhancing your vivek, the discriminative knowledge, separating the self from the not self. That's the direct means to enlightenment. Kshetrajnam chapi tamam vidhi sarvabhuve kshetreshu bharata kshetra kshetrayor jnanam yatatva yatta jnanam matam mamana. Know me as a knower of the field in all beings. Another shocking understanding. Every reflected sun, if you count them, there are millions, trillions. But the reality behind all reflected suns is the only one sun. So that sun is the Kshetrajna, the knower of the field. That sun is the reality of your soul. The notion that you are a jiva, individual soul, is a result of lack of vivek, the lack of understanding of separation between Purusha and Prakriti, between the self and the not self. O Arjuna, knowing the distinction between the field and the knower of the field is deemed to me as true knowledge. Tat kshetram yatcha yadrikcha yadvikari yatascha yat sachayo yat prabhavascha tat samasena me srinu. Hear from me summarily what is field, what is its nature, what are its manifestations, and from where it emanates. What is the nature of the knower of the field, and what is its power? More details about field and its knower. There are several points put into this verse. What is the field? And what are the characteristics of the field? And what are the vikaras, modifications of the field? And many details. When we talk of vikaras, they relate to asti, first thing jati. When you are born or anything is born, next stage you consider the existence of something real. Jati, asti, all these are modifications. The birth, existence, viparinam. See, any child is born. Before birth, you don't know who the child is. But when the name is given, now you know who the child is. So there are two stages. You are born, jati. And now, with a name given to you, you exist. Viparinapate. Now you begin to grow. Day by day you are changing. Changes is called viparinam. Vardhate, as you change, you are going on in growing up. You become youth. And then, after youthful era concludes, you begin to age. Apakshiyate. And after that, there is death. All these take place in kshetra. All these have nothing to do with kshetrajna, the knower of the self. So all details about the kshetra have been asked. Fourth verse. Rishibhir bahudha gitam chando bhirvividhaya prithak Brahma Sutra Padaishchaiva Etmadbhi vinishchitayi. The knowledge pertaining to Kshetra and Kshetrajna has been sung by sages in various ways. This has been the main purpose behind the scriptural teachings, the essence of teachings. That is, developing vivek, a discriminative understanding of self being different from not self, separating self from not self. Self is Kshetrajna, not self is Kshetra. Kshetra and Kshetrajna have become blended together. So all the Vedas and the sages have brought these teachings in different ways. This distinctly stated in different Vedic hymns and also expressed in the well-reasoned aphorisms of Brahma Sutras. Sage Vyasa composed Gita, the Upanishads, and Brahma Sutras. They were revelations of the sages, where Vyasa put them together in profound literature. And these three especially, Upanishadic wisdom, Gita, and Brahma Sutras, they become the foundation of the study of Vedanta philosophy. All these are introductory. Now we are getting into the topic. 5th verse. Mahabhutani ahamkaro buddhir avyaktam cha indriyani dashaikam cha panchachendriya gochara. The great elements, the ego principle, the intellect, and the non-manifest, the 10 indriyas, and the 5 objects of the senses. And it will continue to the next verse. But these are the constituents of Kshetra field. You are being given the insight into field in your personality. That's the basis of your self-effort, of creating your karmas, as well as basis for your spiritual progress, as well as they are the basis for souls being degraded to hellish condition. What are they? Great elements: earth, air, fire. Rather, come to a more good sequence: earth, water, fire, air, ether. And these subtle elements go to compose your ego, your intellect, and all details. But right now, these are the highlights, great elements, the ego principle, ahamkar, the intellect, and the non-manifest. By non-manifest, it implies prakriti. The 10 indriyas, 5 senses of perception, 5 organs of action, and the 5 objects of the senses. Ichha dvesha sukham dukkham sanghata chetana dhriti eta kshetram samasena savikaram udahritam. Desire, hatred, all these come in the realm of kshetra field. If these points are not there, your experience will remain very limited. Soul's evolution will become completely restricted. You have to have all the possibility of having good harvest, bad harvest. When you are harvesting, all possibilities are there. Suddenly, birds from the sky come down and sweep over your harvest, eat them all up, and you simply look at. So what are they? Desire, hatred, pleasure, pain, the aggregate of the body and the senses, consciousness. Here, consciousness in this context is not Chaitanya, pure consciousness, but it relates to Chetana, from unconscious to conscious state. When you are chloroformed, you are in unconscious state. You don't describe the person, oh, he has consciousness. But when he comes to normal awareness, his consciousness has returned. Chetana has come. So that type of Chetana, role of Chetana is product of Prakriti. Pure Chetana is no product at all. Is a ray of Purusha. And fortitude. Fortitude means when you get, in every situation, there's a need for waiting, watching. And a good kshetra allows you to have lot of patience, lot of endurance. Now we are coming to description of jnana. What qualities or virtues enable you to discover kshetrajna? Are you knowing your kshetrajna? Are you aware of who you are? What are the characteristics? Amanitvam adambhitvam ahimsa kshantirarjavam acharyopasanam shaucham stairyam atmavinigraha. Absence of pride, absence of hypocrisy, non-violence, forbearance, uprightness, service of Guru, purity, steadfastness, self-control. These are in the indications of jnana. But these will continue into next verse. Now go into the deeper meaning behind all these virtues. Absence of pride, called amanitvam. Your pride is of three types: sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Tamasic pride is shallow, hollow, and it has no substance behind it. You have hardly done anything, but you have stolen somebody's examination paper. And you assert you have done the best. That type of pride is tamasic type. And pride that just urges you to have lot of popularity. That's Rajasic type. But when you feel pride, led by accomplishing your sadhana, gaining success in your japa, in your meditation, and in your practice of integral yoga, that pride is called gaurava, and it is inspirational. The more that pride you have, greater is your progress. But that pride is not mentioned here. It is Rajasic, Tamasic pride. Absence of hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is opposed to straightforward. Straightforward thought, word, and deed. Your sincerity continues. But hypocrisy, you're thinking one thing, saying something else, doing something else. Non-violence, in order to accomplish your interest. You don't care how much hurtful you are to others. Hurting anyone through thought, word, and deed is violence. Overcoming hatred by love, that's non-violence. Ghat ghat mein hai साईं रमता, katuk bachan mat bol re. In every personality, there dwells God. So do not speak in a way that is hurtful to anybody. Forbearance. How much you forgive and forget. Both together is forbearance. You have to come to a state that even the need of forgiving does not arise because you do not develop anger. Doctors don't develop anger towards patient. Patient is called patient, but nothing is more impatient than the patient. Uprightness is straightforwardness, service of Guru, and that's the highlight of sadhana. You should not be led by your own choice, but you should be guided. If you are interested in learning music, go to a person who is skilled in music and come under guidance. Similarly, if you are interested in self-improvement, of promoting the path leading to enlightenment, for cultivating jnana, then service of Guru. Service of Guru implies working under the guidance of Guru. That's the best service you can render. Because Guru's eagerness lies in seeing light of wisdom kindled in the heart of the disciples and leading the disciple to liberation. There lies Guru's success. So if you want to enhance the pride of Guru, then follow that path. And that's the best service you are rendering. In practice, jnana yajna, whatever you learn or through Guru, share it with others. Play the role of Guru on your part. And that applies even to the householders. Your father, your mother is your Guru. Your father plays the role of guru. School teacher plays the role of guru. The next quality to be developed, purity. Purity and impurity both relate to, rather impurity relates to involvement in Prakriti, involvement in matter. Purity is revelation of pure self. The more you know about your own self, greater is the degree of purity. But simple meaning of purity has to be practiced in daily life, keeping the mind free of impurities, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. Impurities, malas. And malas are to be transmuted, because malas are short-circuited energies. Purifying means you correct the short circuit. Deal with your anger in 3 ways. 3S. Suppress, substitute, sublimate. Steadfastness, self-control. These are the indications of jnana. Indriyartheshu vairagyam anaham kara evacha janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanu darshanam. All these are characteristics of jnana, wisdom. What are they? Dispassion towards the objects of the senses, absence of egoism, reflecting upon the evils associated with birth, death, old age, disease, and pain. As Viveka advances, spiritual sensitivity increases. Same body of yours receives lot of dust, lots of things, but you don't even feel that. But even few specks of dust entering your eyes, and you begin to complain. Similarly, if Viveka advances, sarvam dukkham vivekina, all things that are transient, that are in the realm of mortality, they do not please a person who has discriminative intellect. Transient attainment is no longer the source of inner satisfaction. This doesn't mean that one who has viveka goes on showing bitter face everywhere. No, he shows better face. Because he's becoming more like the sky. The sky is detached, but the sky handles all situations, all types of clouds, good ones, bad ones, stormy ones, and the sky remains unscratched. That's the example of dispassion. And constant reflection upon the evils associated with birth, how much struggle goes on when a baby is born. All people forget about it, lost in celebrating the childbirth, and you want to have more children, and you want to come back also as a child again and again. This lack of discrimination that allows you to develop that type of mind. So, evil associated with birth, death, think of the miseries people suffer from. Death is mortality virus. So far, nobody has found antidote to this mortality. And similarly, old age, disease, and pain caused by adversities and diseases. And we will continue. Om. Om. Ram, 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 Ram. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om. Prayer for shower of Karunamayas, grace of God over all of you, with the blessings of Shakti, Bhakti and Mukti. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukum Bandhana Mrityor Mukshiyamamrita. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.